breaking down all the plays and getting you in the action. We've got you covered all season long. Welcome to the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into Season 2, Episode number 11 here on the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza. We are about to kick off the postseason here in the 2023 high school football season. So as we do that, Mike Robb, give me your dark horse team here in the first round of the postseason.
Oh, well, I don't know if there's necessarily a dark horse team, but it's a team that I really like, and I won't say like it's Southview.
Okay.
I think Southview is a team that's clicking at the right moments right now, and I see them really having a breakout game here in week 1.
All right, Justin, what you got?
Yeah, they're taking on Cleveland Rhodes. They're a 4 seed. It's not really a dark horse,
right.
Mike.
I mean, it's
maybe
not a dark
to go on
horse.
a deep playoff run. But in the first round, I'm going to take Clay at Ottawa, Olmsted Falls.
Ooh.
Olmsted Falls 7-3. The 5-12 seed matchup. A lot of basketball fans might be watching this podcast. We've seen 5-12 upsets in the men's and women's NCAA tournament all the time. So I think Clay, maybe Olmsted Falls hasn't faced a quarterback like Mason Heinchel. And then one more, Fremont Ross at Avon Lake,
yes.
10-7 seed. Fremont Ross has a tough schedule. They battled some of the bigger teams across the board throughout 10 weeks. I think maybe Fremont Ross goes on the road, maybe makes it interesting, maybe pulls one out. So we'll see if the NLL can represent.
All right. I always keep my eye on that Fremont Ross team as well, actually. So that's a good one. All right. Well, coming up on today's show, we've got a really packed one for you today. The postseason is officially here. We've got so much to discuss with that. We got some cool things going on. We're talking about our player of the week, Grant Kinnee from the Anthony Wayne Generals this week. We're also got our game of the week preview, Perrysburg at Whitmer, and so much more. I'm telling you, today is going to be packed. Make sure you tune in each and every week to the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza, Wednesdays at 4 p.m. on BCSN. And also, make sure you catch up throughout the week on the podcast. Listen to us on our audio podcast platforms. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and on bcsnnation.com/podcast. And also, make sure you check us out on social media. It's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at BCSN Sports for daily content, especially as we get in here into the postseason. We got all kinds of juicy stuff. Make sure you stop by. All right, we got something fun today. We've got so many games to talk about here in the postseason, here in the first round. We got so many games, and we can't go too in-depth about all of them. So we're going to do a lightning round today, where we're going to talk about a bunch of games in a really quick fashion. We're going to start off with Justin here. As we move into our lightning round, he's got 5 games. He's got 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right, Justin, let's get it started. What you got?
All right, here we go. Clay at Olmsted Falls. Olmsted Falls beat St. John's and Anthony Wayne in the first and second rounds last year. Maybe some Toledo payback against the Cleveland area teams. Coach Dom DeLuca for Olmsted Falls. Unique offense, perennially a very good team. Clay is 4-6, but those 6 losses, all versus playoff teams. So Mason Heinchel, John Gallius got to bring it. Start at Anthony Wayne. Rematch of a Week 5 game in which Anthony Wayne won 77-6.
Oh.
So Start did hang tough at Lima Senior last week, lost 26-14. I think Start is better than they were back in Week 5, but Nate James doing a great year in his first year. Great job in his first year. Napoleon at Bellevue. This game can be seen live on BCSN. 2 5-5 teams. Napoleon, 1 bad loss to Northview, other 4 losses. Defiance, Liberty Center, Anthony Wayne, and Southview, all those teams with 7 or more wins. And they missed a home game with a loss to Southview last week, so Napoleon's got to go on the road. Marion Pleasant versus Eastwood, both Division 5 teams here. 2 losses for Eastwood to Oak Harbor and Wauseon. Eastwood has done a solid job. Sam Cotterman, great job in his first year taking over for Craig Rutherford. And then Otsego at Oak Harbor, both in the Division 5 bracket. 10 wins for Oak Harbor, top 10 in the state rankings, still just a 4 seed. That gives you a sense of the depth of how good that Division 5 team is. Last year, 1 and 2 seeds made it out in this region. That was Liberty Center versus Eastwood. Liberty Center won. This year, Liberty Center versus Edison could be.
It's my turn. You're wasting my time. Hey, Southview and Rhodes. Hey, you got to talk fast when this lightning round. It's going to be really quick here. Southview is going to handle this Cleveland Rose team. They got a good offensive line. They got some nice talents, but they got a running back that is pretty crafty, so they're going to have to shut that game down. When you talk about St. John's and Avon, Avon, I mean, this, Jacarion Caffrey, this kid is really good. He's good enough to be Mr. Football. And then you also look on their offensive line. They got Luke Hamilton, who's committed to Michigan. So the St. John's are going to have an uphill battle, but I think they're up for the challenge. Their defense is getting better, and offensively, I really like Turner. And then you look at Fremont Ross, and you look at Avon Lake. Avon Lake, I mean, this is another team. They got another big-time offensive lineman in Maxwell Riley. He can handle his own. And Fremont Ross, they're going to have to rely big-time on J.D. Moncrief. He's going to have to step up big, but also the supporting cast is going to have to be there for him because he's going to need it. Whiteford and Sand Creek. No shade to Sand Creek, but Whiteford is just that good. I mean, you look at Coach Teakin and what he's done over the years. I think that he is really got this program believing, and they got freshman quarterbacks. Come on now. These guys are on a roll, and they're kicking field goals. So I think that Whiteford's going to be the team to win that one there. You look at Bowling Green and Central Catholic. RPO, run people over. Can they do it this week? They're going to have to if they want to win, and they're going to have to do it without their coach. Central Catholic, we just saw them destroy Cass Tech. So for the NLL, they probably should have let Central Catholic in because that team's going to win a state championship. Bowling Green ain't got no chance in this one.
Man, that was a good time. I'll tell you what, we have to do more of this because that lightning round is absolutely fantastic. If you guys, you might need to watch that a few times to really get all of the thoughts here from Justin and Mike Robb. But that was a good time. Let's jump in now to our Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Player of the Week. All right, welcome into our Charlie's Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Player of the Week here on the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza. This week, we're heading out over to the Anthony Wayne Generals for the QB Grant Kinnee.
Let's go.
Man, the Generals got a huge win over the Yellow Jackets last week, 35-10. Kinnee responsible for 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 89-yard passing touchdown in the big win. Mike Robb, what did we see out of Grant Kinnee last week?
Well, he was my pick for Player of the Week, so I'm super excited. You know, on the season, I came out on top over Mark Kuntz, the fan picks, and Mike Jewell. So thank you guys for the crown this year.
All right.
But anyway, Grant Kinnee, he gets the crown because how well he's played. He's a game manager. In the big games that we've seen, Findlay when they had to win, Perrysburg when they had to win, he showed up. He showed up in big ways, and I really appreciate that from a quarterback who has the IQ. You know, he's been on the Done Drive of the Week several times because of his way of handling the game and the pressure at that quarterback situation. So I think they're going to go as far as he allow them. You know, the offensive line with Wang and those guys, they are doing an excellent job of blocking and protecting. Anthony Wayne's been my dark horse team all year, and this is my dark horse player of the year.
Yeah, they've just been the team who takes what a defense gives them.
Yeah.
And then runs plays accordingly. I really like and appreciate and respect the coaching staff that Anthony Wayne has and just figuring out a game as the game is going on, as opposed to, okay, we made the game plan on Tuesday or Wednesday, we're sticking with
it. Adjustments.
They adjust throughout the process. And then with Grant Kinnee's ability, you think of him as a drop back passer. Well, we brought it up during the podcast, I think in like week 5.
Yeah.
The sense that he had more rushing yards than passing yards from that quarterback position. But he's just a guy who makes plays. When you are a coach and you can go out and just let that person play knowing that, okay, a majority and or all the time, they are going to make the best decision at the right appropriate time throughout a game. So Anthony Wayne, they should have their sights set on a deep playoff run. They should take care of start in the first round. And then next up would be Avon Lake or Fremont Ross, the winner of that matchup as well. And Anthony Wayne as a 2 seed, top 4 seeds get 2 home games as long as they win that first one. So Schaller Stadium should be packed for both week 1 and week 2 of the postseason. But Grant Kinnee making a name for himself, potential Buckeye Division Player of the Year. We're going to have a topic on that on Game Day Tailgate Friday at 6:30. Tune into that on BCSN. We'll be live from the Perrysburg Whitmer game. More on that one coming up. But I'd say him and Ryan Montgomery, off the top of my head, 2 contenders for the Buckeye Division Player of the Year within the NLL.
Yes, it's going to be a really, really interesting one to see. Actually, talking about this team right here with Anthony Wayne, we got the Division II Region 6 playoff bracket. Let's take a look at this real quick. Justin, when we're taking a look at this playoff bracket with Anthony Wayne, you mentioned, being a 2 seed versus, a seed down here with Start being a 15 seed. What are we looking at here as we move on into round 1 and round 2?
Yeah, as you see the red teams, the BCSN area teams from the Toledo area, I see top seed there. Avon should advance. Westlake and Broadview Heights, Brecksville, Broadview Heights, 8. That's a toss-up game. 8 and 9 seeds are always that. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Clay could pull off an upset. Southview, how about this factoid? Southview. Quick
Like
trivia.
factoids.
Quick trivia, Mike Rob. When's the last time Southview won a playoff game?
Oh boy, I mean, was Miley Cyrus still making music?
Miley Cyrus was
She might have been on the Disney Channel.
I don't even think she was old enough for that yet.
Oh gosh,
Wow.
2008,
ooh,
which was when they won the whole thing.
they won a state championship.
Yeah. So how about that? I think Southview could get that done. They also a top 4 seed, so could be the top 2 teams, 2 first-round home games, I should say. Highland, Midview, North Ridgeville, Valley Forge, Avon Lake, Fremont, Ross, Anthony Wayne start. The 2 seed and the 1 seed. That'd be a juicy matchup there if we get Avon and Anthony Wayne at a neutral location somewhere in the Sandusky area.
Yeah.
But, Southview might challenge. Southview played Avon Lake last year in the first round, came up short on the road. But I like the dark horse pick. I think they got to play up to their ability.
Yeah.
Once you get into that second, third, and fourth round, you have mistakes, you're going home. So that's the way I kind of see that bracket as of right now.
All right. Well, we've got more games, just like you said right here. We're moving on now. Let's talk about our first round here. Let's take a little bit more of an in-depth take a look here at some of these games here. We've got this first one right here I want to take a look at. We've got the 14th seed Olentangy Liberty on the road at the 3rd seed Findlay Trojans. Patriots 3-7, Trojans 8-2. Mike Robb, when we're looking at this matchup right here, does Findlay look to make a deep run?
Does Findlay still have Ryan Montgomery?
I believe so.
Is Stephen Adams still the head coach?
I believe so.
I got Findlay.
Okay.
I got Findlay doing their job. I mean, honestly, when you take a look at it and you think about what Ryan Montgomery has been able to accomplish this year, you talked about him potentially being the Buckeye Player of the Year. If he isn't, I don't know what they voting on. I mean, the dude is a stud. But I think that the way they're playing at this point in time of the year and how locked in he is at the quarterback position, it's hard to beat a really good quarterback. We won a state championship when I coached at Central with Deshaun Kaiser. When you got a quarterback that can just control the game, he can slow it down, he can adjust the plays, he can make adjustments. That's not normal for a high school football player, just so you know that. And Ryan Montgomery has that ability to do that, and they give him the ability to switch things up as he see it. So I think that Ryan is going to come out here and destroy this team.
Yeah. 68% passing, 3,018 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 8 rushing touchdowns. So 35 plus 8, that's 43 touchdowns. He's got a chance to go over 50 if they can go on a halfway decent playoff run. If you look at the projection of if the seeds hold within their 16-team region, they'd play Olentangy Liberty. Second round, they'd play Dublin Kaufman. Third round, they'd play Olentangy Berlin. Fourth round, they'd play the 1 seed Olentangy. So they'd have to go through 4 Columbus area teams if the seeds hold. And I think they could be up for it. My key, yes, offensively, but Ryan Montgomery doesn't play defense. So the key is going to be defense. Can this Findlay defense, who has played very well at times, holding Whitmer to 14 points.
I was going to say that.
They have taken the necessary steps. And Coach Ken Winters from Whitmer acknowledged prior to that game that it's not the Findlay defense of old. They have the ability to shut down teams and make those adjustments. And then Coach Stephen Adams put it clear to me, this is the 3rd year in the system. They have this no turnover, avoiding a turnover within the coaching staff. So what they're doing defensively and offensively, they know what they're supposed to do, and they're having those players buy in. Hey, you fill your gap. You're not going to make the tackle, but you're going to be a reason why someone else made the tackle.
Yep.
And that's Findlay has the pieces, so they got to all buy in to say, all right, it's time to put up or shut up. Let's not give up at any point, overcome adversity, get a victory somehow, some way.
Yeah, their quarterback, Andrew Leonard, he is a pretty good player, so they're going to have to find a way to get the stops there too. And you talked about it, Struck as well. They got a good quarterback, running back situation, so defense does matter, and defense wins championships. There we go.
All right, and catch that game Friday night at 7 o'clock on the BCSN Now app. Another game that we've got coming up this week. We got Margaretta, the 11 seed, at the 6 seed Ottawa Hills Green Bears. It's the Battle of the Green. Justin, when we're looking at this matchup right here, what are we looking at?
Ottawa Hills has tons of playmakers. My concern with them is the lack of competition throughout the duration of the season. But I will point out a BCSN game of the week, Whiteford at Ottawa Hills. Great matchup. I hope that continues into the future with the Tri-County Conference that Whiteford comes from, and then the TAC of Ottawa Hills and others. So 9-1 season for Ottawa Hills. They got a home playoff game. Last year they had a home playoff game and lost to the Patrick Henry Patriots out of the NWOAL. So they got a little bit better team in my estimation, does Ottawa Hills. So if they win, they would likely play at Colonel Crawford. So they're going to have to go on the road in round 2. I think Ottawa Hills should handle their business here in the first round. This game also on BCSN. Their defense is solid as well, but Ottawa Hills' strength of schedule, out of all 106 Division 6 teams, Ottawa Hills' strength of schedule is 93rd out of 106. So that is a concern.
Absolutely.
Maybe not necessarily for the first round, but for a potential deeper playoff run. It'd be great if Ottawa Hills, in some ways, I brought up Patrick Henry. I think they had 3 losses, but they still got a 5 seed because of the strength of schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm a coach, maybe I'll take an additional loss if it teaches me something instead of winning a game 63-7 or something like that.
Absolutely. I think that's where you want to go with it. And Coach Carter's done an excellent job getting his team to play, at the level that they're playing at. This is a good football team. I also believe that it's going to come down to their defense. The way they play offense, they like to run the ball. They don't like to really pass the ball much. And if you fall behind, now you got to do some uncharacteristic things, and that's when mistakes happen. So they got to start fast and they got to get going early in all of these playoff games.
All right. Well, you can catch that game also Friday night, 7 o'clock on the BCSN Now app. All right, let's jump in now to our clip of the week. All right, welcome into our clip of the week here, brought to you by Renewal by Anderson on the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza. This week, we're heading out to Fremont Ross as we take a look at this clip right here. J.D. Moncrief taking the ball into the end zone for a 20-yard rushing TD. Mike Robb, let's see what's going on in this play right here.
Well, you got a nice little smack block right there with the tight end coming across to get the end, and then you just see J.D. just using straight athleticism and vision. I think that's the one thing that we're not looking at here is the vision. You see the guys coming in. It's a nice blitz there. When you blitz, you always going to leave a gap open. But look at his vision. He gets outside. He sees it coming back, and he fights and squirts right between the 2 defenders. I really think JD is a special football player, and he's a first-team all-leaguer in my opinion.
This is one great framing by the BCSN camera crew here.
Yes.
Great job. But Moncrief, I love the vision, like you mentioned. I love the strength. You saw the jersey pull. That's not going to bring him down. He's a guy who you're going to have to rip him down, and or good form tackle or multiple defenders are going to have to bring him down. But look at 3 guys. Nice cutback.
Yes.
I mean, just to do that right after you break a tackle, it's just a double whammy right there.
I mean, watch the center. I think it's the center of the guard right there. The center gets up to the second level and get a big pancake block. I mean, you got to give credit to the offensive line here as well, because that's who these guys are going to give all their credit and praise to. And you see why. Look at the offensive lineman down in the end zone. They are running and they're playing good. I think Fremont Ross has gotten better throughout the year. Obviously, they weren't as, explosive at the beginning of the year, but now they're rolling and rocking. I think this football team could give the upset, but it's going to be uphill. But this is a great clip right here if you're JD. This is definitely going on the first 2 or 3 plays in my highlight tape.
Yeah,
definitely.
Look at what time it is in the game. You talk about setting the tone. 58 seconds into the game where you're going to be breaking tackles, you're pancaking offensive linemen, you're celebrating with the whole team in the end zone. It's a team effort. I mean, as a coach, you are just loving it, because that's everything that you pour in from Monday all the way through Thursday in preparation, and then you set the tone right here and I mean, just athleticism, just fantastic drive. Like I just love the determination. When you're a running back, you have to have that quality.
Yep.
Hey, somehow, some way, I'm going to maximize this run, whether it's getting an extra inch or an extra yard for a first down, or in this case, a touchdown.
Yes. If you guys want to see more highlight clips just like this, then make sure to check out our TikTok. It's at BCSN Sports. We post highlight clips just like this each and every Friday. Make sure you go over there and give us a follow. All right. And also Fremont Ross at Avon Lake this week. You guys can catch that Friday night, 7 o'clock in the BCSN Now app. All right. We have football every week. And with that, we've got our student sections and the winners of the final student section of the week for the 2023 high school football season. We go out to the Southview Cougar Nation. They have showed up not only on the football field, but also in the student section all season long. Southview, you guys have been fantastic. Congratulations. I believe they had a Halloween theme last week. I believe
they
what it
did.
was.
We had Mario and Luigi. We had that banana guy behind the
look at
tailgate.
it.
I saw some
set.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep, Ninja Turtles. We had they were
Pink
all
guy.
out.
Look at the pink guy over there.
They show up and show out. Go Cougars.
They elbowed and broke a table in the middle of the student section.
Oh,
They
I
shared
did see that
video.
video.
Did they get like Buffalo? They're going like Buffalo Bills on us?
Yeah, exactly.
Mafia.
Yeah.
The Southview Mafia.
The
Southview
Southview
Mafia.
Mafia.
Yes.
Love it.
All right, congratulations to Southview. You guys were absolutely fantastic. Make sure all of you stay tuned for the student section of the season. That'll be coming here pretty soon. We're going to tally it up. We're going to see what school showed up the best throughout the year. All right, let's move on to our next segment here. We're going to run through this a little fast here, Mike Rob. I'm sorry to give you a little bit of time, but we got so many things to talk about on this
That's
show
all right.
today.
Let's roll.
We've got our final, we just finished the regular season, now heading into the postseason, so it's kind of like our final regular season, little postseason preview. Robinson's rankings, what do you got?
Hey, man, give me that timer again. I like talking really fast like I'm an auctioneer.
You got it.
We're going to go start at the bottom. Tiff and Columbia, one of those top teams in that Division III region. I think we're going to see them and Central Catholic tear off at some point in time in the playoffs. But I felt like I left them out, and I'm going to have to make sure that they got in there. Southview, they continue to impress. I got to give a lot of credit and respect to that program. They've been doing excellent all season long. Perkins, again, this is a team I really like. I think that they're just getting better at the right time. They've been peaking, and when you got a good quarterback, you're going to be okay. Perrysburg, I still keep them in there because I still got faith. I haven't given up on this football team. They've been dinged up and banged up a little bit, but I still think they're good enough to come out here and win some games because it's all about coaching at the end of the day. But your players got to execute. Anthony Wayne jumped them a little bit, because they are a dark horse team, and because Grant Kinnee has really impressed me as the season went on. So I think that, quarterback play means a lot to me. Liberty Center, this team is just, if I had a big school, small school thing, they would probably be closer to the top of the small school because of how dominant they are. And I keep telling everybody, this is a team that's going to be in the state championship, bearing no crazy injuries or anything of that nature. Whitmer, this team is continuing to get better. Brady Ford, they're going to have to find a way to keep getting Joey Morales. This is a big game this week versus Perrysburg, and they're going to have to find a way to do what they did the first time without Perrysburg making the same mistakes, because I guarantee you they won't. So this is a good game here for Whitmer. Finley, Ryan Montgomery. Whiteford, Coach Teakin. And then for Central Catholic, the whole entire offensive line. When you look at how big those guys are and how dominant they are up front, it just makes a difference. And it's going to be a bloodbath this first week in the playoffs for her.
Man, I love it. I love it. All right, we're heading into the postseason coming up this week. We're going to see if any of these teams kind of swap around. We're going to find out. All right, let's jump in now to our Game of the Week preview. All right, welcome into our Game of the Week preview, brought to you by Dunn Chevy in Oregon. We've got Perrysburg, the 10 seed at the 7 seed Whitmer this week, Friday night, 7 o'clock on the BCSN Now app, host of Game Day Tailgate. Perrysburg coming off a big loss to Anthony Wayne last week, 35-10, finishing the regular season 7-3, but losing 3 of their final 4 games, all in the Buckeye division of the NLL. Whitmer, on the other hand, coming off of a big shutout win over Springfield last week, 41-0, securing their share of the Buckeye division title after going 4-1 in the division. So, Justin, the question here, does Perrysburg rise up or does Whitmer move on?
Yeah, it's a coin flip game in some respects. You brought up losing 3 of 4 on the Perrysburg side. They lost to Whitmer, Finley, and Anthony Wayne. I looked, the last time that Perrysburg had lost that amount of games in that amount of time, go back to 2018 when they started the season 0-4. But since then, they've been a model of consistency under Coach Matt Kriegel, now our BCSN analyst for Tailgate, and then Dirk Connor since he took over, moving from Bowling Green to Perrysburg. And I was at both of these teams' practices and did some interviews with both Whitmer and Perrysburg. And running back Nick Oros for Perrysburg I said, give me a word that describes your team. And he said resilient. So you're going to have to be resilient after losing 3 of 4, kind of backtracking into the playoffs. You're going to have to get some fight. And I think both of these teams have got to hit the reset button. Whitmer hit the reset button after getting scorched by Ryan Montgomery and Finley at home, 40-14. And they said that could be a good thing because they were riding a 6-game winning streak and then they got smacked in the face. And I think that could help them and propel them. It hurt them when it comes to their seeding in the postseason. but possibly and maybe in the longer run, they got to get the job done against Perrysburg. But I think you're going to get a steady dose of Jaden Jones, the running game there for Whitmer. And I think that this rematch of a Week 7 game, Whitmer beat Perrysburg 25-15. There was a ton of miscues on special teams for Perrysburg, and that was just crippling for them. But for Whitmer, they're going to have to play a total. This is a game right from the get-go because it's a 7-10 matchup. It's not like some of these 116, 215 where we know the outcome already. This is not a know-the-outcome game. I think this goes 4 quarters. A slight edge to Whitmer, I think, being at home. But I'm looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game, and we, kind of brushed over it a little bit, but, I think it's a quarterback battle. I mean, it always comes down to that. Who's going to make the least amount of mistakes? Josh Tack is throwing a pick 6, and Brady Ford not having to throw the ball as much because he has a lot of weapons in the backfield, as you mentioned, Justin. They can run the ball. They got Carter Lowe up front. They got Koopman. They got all these guys, O'Brien. They got big physical bodies, but it's their defense in that second half, and that's going to have to step up for Whitmer. And then for Perrysburg, they got to play mistake-free. They got to play mistake-free football, and they haven't done that in the past few weeks. So they got to get back right. They got to steer the ship around. And I know Dirk Connor, Coach Mike Ward are not excited at all about how their team has played, but sometimes you got to have a minor setback for a major comeback.
Yes.
We'll see about this on Friday.
Yes. Let's pull up this bracket here, actually, if we could take a look at the Division I Region 2 bracket, because we've got Perrysburg and Whitmer here in this bracket here. When we're looking at this, Mike Robb, what do you see if Whitmer moves on or Perrysburg moves on? How are we looking here as we get into round 2?
I mean, Berlin is a tough team. I mean, you look down there in Marysville, obviously we saw Perrysburg handle them. They would love to see them upset down there at the bottom. But for Whitmer and Perrysburg, nothing else matters besides getting through round 1. You just got to make it here. And then you can worry about the second week because this is everything. And then for Findlay, I think that Findlay's got the not easier path, but they got a better path there for themselves to be able to go out there and collect some W's versus these Columbus teams as mentioned. And Kettering obviously is the Dayton area, but I think that this region is tough. It's a Columbus heavy region, but I think that one of our teams should be able to make it at least to the third round.
Yeah, we could see a rematch there with Findlay and the winner of Whitmer-Perrysburg in the third round if we get to that point.
All right. Well, you guys can catch this game, Perrysburg at Whitmer, Friday night, 7 o'clock on the BCSN Now app. All the games that we are covering this week and in the postseason, you guys can watch on the BCSN Now app. So make sure you tune into that. And speaking of those games, what do we got coming up this week, Justin?
Yeah, in addition to that one between the Panthers and the Yellow Jackets, we also got that Findlay game that we broke down quite a bit. Cleveland Rhodes at Southview. Mel Nussbaum Stadium should be rocking. We'll see if they can create some emotion. Don't know how many Cleveland Rhodes fans will be on the visitor sideline for that one. Then we got Margaretta, Ottawa Hills. I hope Ottawa Hills, a smaller school in the neighborhood. I love that stadium, Niedermeyer Stadium. With all those fans there, it should be a fun environment for them. And then we got Clay taking on Olmsted Falls. St. John's at Avon, Fremont Ross at Avon Lake, Napoleon Bellevue, Genoa, Huron. Those Napoleon Bellevue, Genoa, Huron, those are those coin flip games. I'm really curious to see the outcomes of those games because that's an earn your way into it.
You definitely have to earn your way in. And when we take a look at these teams that are in the Toledo area and the BCSN Erie area out there in the Sandusky market, let's take a look at the brackets and let's break down what we're looking at here. First off, in Division I, Region 2. All right, now we've got a really, really stacked Division II Region 6. Let's see where the teams stack up in D2 Region 6. All right, now moving into Division 3 Region 10. Let's see where the teams stack up here. Now moving on into Division 4, Region 14. Where are the teams at now? And finally, let's jump into Division 6, Region 22. All All right, that is going to do it for us here on episode number 11 of the BCSN Nation Podcast, powered by Marco's Pizza. The postseason is here. We're incredibly excited here at BCSN. We know that you guys are excited at home as well, so make sure that you stay tuned to our social media at BCSN Sports across everywhere on the internet to make sure you tuned in to everything we have covering all of the postseason here in the 2023 high school football season. Make sure to tune in next week, Wednesday. We'll see you then.